Good morning, dear learners. So, children, today we will do a very important topic of our writing section, that is letter writing. So, children, this is such a topic which would be used further in almost every field of life. Like whether you want to lodge a complaint against somebody, whether you want to make a request, like several kinds of areas are covered in this topic. So see, this topic is meant for both the classes, class 11th and class 12th. So the students of both these classes can utilize this video, since we are having many types of letters under formal letters. Like business letters are there, official letters are there, letters to editors are there, and letters for job applications are there. So some of the categories have been there in class 11 syllabus and some are there in class 12 syllabus. So it would be useful for both the classes, right? So first of all, you must know what is the meaning. What is the meaning actually? A letter is a very important form of written communication. Like same as we do emails these days, right? So these are a part and parcel of everyday communication, and letters are written by individuals to other individuals. These are written by individuals to some business houses. These are also written by individuals to institutions and government. And in contrast to that, letters can be written from institutions to individuals as well, from business houses to individual as well, or from one business house to other business house, from one government body to some individual. So letters can be written from both these angles, so you should be very clear with that point. So it's an important form of communication, and yes, it is best for this for the sake of record keeping, right? Like sometimes the content is that which can be shared very easily via oral communication, but why do we write letter for those areas? Because it's very important to keep a record of the same, like keep a record of what has been conveyed to the other person, so that there should be no misunderstanding at the end, right? Next, so broadly, letters are of two types. See, as we mentioned earlier, formal letters and informal letters. So these are of two types, and here we are to deal with formal letters only. Like in our syllabus, we have formal letters only. So formal letters include further four types, which I already mentioned. So first is business letter. Second are official letters. Third, letters to the editors, and applications. It means job applications, right? So, business letters are written for the following purposes. I hope that's clear to you. Like, as I've jotted down the points in sequence, business letters are written for placing orders. Like if we suppose we own a shop of stationery and we want to purchase the material in bulk, so we would write a business letter, right? So we would write a letter in order to place our order. Why we need to write a letter? So that the communication should be very much clear and brief. It should be clear, right? There should be no confusion, so that's why written record has to be maintained. So in order to place an order, in order to make an order. Next, cancelling order. Like sometimes we do not receive our order in time, and by that point of time we are no longer in the requirement of pursuing that order, so we can also cancel the orders which are given earlier, right? Third is reminders. It means suppose we have issued some material to somebody. Suppose we have delivered a truck of goods to somebody and that person has not made his or her due payment in time. Like whatever is the date of commitment, the payment is not done in time. So reminders are written, right? For orders, reminders are written. So this is the third type. Next is making complaints. So children, sometimes defective goods are received by us. Suppose we have ordered for a set of crockeries, and when opened on delivery, we find that the crockery was broken, or like some of the pieces were broken. So in such a case, we write letters of complaints that this or this piece was defected and we need to replace it. Right? Next is making inquiries. It means before purchasing anything, before doing any business, we need to know the price of some like certain things. And for that purpose also, inquiry letters are written. So how those are written? In which we ask that we need this or this particular thing, right, of this brand we need, and like how many pieces we need, or if we are going to purchase a book, how many copies of that book do we need, and what would be the charges if we purchase that particular thing in bulk, right? So inquiries are made like this by writing letters. Next is reply to inquiries. Exactly, sixth part is the reply to fifth one. Like if somebody has made an inquiry, so how to reply that? Ki, otherwise the cost per piece is rupees 100, but if you buy it in bulk, it would cost you 90 per piece. Right? So I hope all the categories are clear. Business letters can be written for placing orders, for cancellation of orders, for giving reminders to the people, for making payments, making complaints, making inquiries, and giving replies to the inquiries. Right? Second in line are official letters. So, children, official letters are written basically for three purposes. First is letters making certain inquiries. Suppose we want to buy a plot or we want to have a contract with somebody. So, we want to make the terms and conditions very much clear, and that too in written form in black and white. So, we write letter to make an inquiry into the matter, right? Letter of complaints can be written. Second, letters making some requests or appeals, like if we want to make a request, if we want to get some holiday declared, or purposes like this. So these can be written by an individual, or these can be written by an individual on the behalf of a group as well. So it varies from one situation to the other, right? Next are letters to the editors, very important one, and it generally appears in the examination. So I have seen it many times. Like there are 90-95% of the chances that this category appears in your exam. Letters to the editor. So children, these letters are written in order to raise an issue in public interest. For example, you find that the street lights are not there as per the requirement in your area. So you can write a letter to the editor addressing the concerned authorities to pay attention towards this matter. Right? So this is an issue that can be discussed through a letter, and that is in public interest. Next is expressing concern over some matter. It means sometimes sewage water gets drained the whole area, or like deforestation is done at very fast pace without giving it any second thought. So if you want to express your concern, if you feel that some issue, something is not going right and you need to raise a voice against that thing, so you can express your concern over that matter, that this or this problem is becoming grave. Suppose the problem of water pollution is becoming grave these days. The problem of noise pollution is becoming grave these days. So any kind of problem that is social or economic or directly or indirectly linked with the public, that can be shared. It means you can express your concern over that matter, right? Next is giving opinion on some issue already discussed in some article. So it is, we can begin these types of letter like, I have read this issue in this article, in this magazine or in this newspaper, and I wish to express my views over the same. It means suppose you have liked the idea discussed in some seminar. You can also write a letter to the editor discussing the ideas, right? Suppose you attended a seminar on how to make digital learning interesting, or how to make the students participate in digital learning. So if you attended a seminar, you learned a lot of things from that, so you can also share it with your colleagues, or you can also share it with all the teachers teachers all over the world. So newspaper is one of the best mediums in order to circulate this information. Right? I hope I am clear with it. Last type is the job applications to the principal. So these are also under formal letters. So these are the categories. I hope that are also clear to you. So what is the layout? We would discuss it. So see children, for your learning, I've jotted down the entire layout of a formal letter, like what things you should include in a formal letter, and everything counts for your marks. Please remember that every point here count for your remarks. See, in very first line you have to write sender's address. It means if you are the sender, your address would be there, of course fictitious, right? So I would also tell you how to write your address. That would be in the further slides. So first understand the layout. It means the outline. First sender's address is written, in the next line date is written, in next line receiver's address is written. It means to whom you are dispatching that letter, that person's address should be written. In the next place we would write the subject. It means what is the issue over which we are writing that letter. Next is salutation, like how to address that person, dear sir or ma'am, or simply sir or ma'am. Or if we are writing to an organization or a group, we would write dear sirs or dear ma'ams, right? After that, main content or body of the letter. So this also I would explain you in much detail, like how content should be written, how body of the letter should be organized, right? At the end, complimentary note. So what type of complimentary notes we can give in a formal letter, this also I'll discuss. And signatures at the end. It means 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 and 8 things should be there in total in your letter. 8 things. First, sender's address, then date, receiver's address, then subject, then salutation, then content or body of the letter, then complimentary note, and then signatures should be there, right? See, I have taken one by one these points, like the points there's a jotted down here. I have taken them one by one. Sender's address. So children, read it very carefully. I hope you will be able to write a letter just by following the rules which I am teaching you here. So sender's address is written in 3 lines. So I would not say in first line sender's address, in second line receiver's address or date or whatsoever. So in 3 lines, and it is written in the top left corner. It would be written on the top. It would be written in the left corner only, right? Everything is written in the left corner. Remember that. So for example, house number 46, Eden Enclave, Shalimar Garden, Lucknow, right? Please note it very carefully. Sender's address doesn't contain sender's name, or commas and full stops are also omitted. It means no comma at the end of the line would be there, and no full stop at the end of the address would be there, right? So children generally commit such mistake of putting commas, like after Eden Enclave. After house number, comma would be there, but there would be no comma at the completion of the line. House number 46, Eden Enclave, Shalimar Garden, Lucknow. Right? The address should be written in 3 lines, dividing it like this. In the first line, house number and street should be mentioned, then the colony should be mentioned, and then name of the city should be mentioned. Right? Next, date. So children, very carefully, the date is written below the sender's address, usually with the gap of 1 line in between. This I want you to take very carefully. See, children, it is written with a gap of 1 line in between. Very carefully. Like these things carry marks. Like students often get confused and their marks are deducted from such things. Date is written below sender's address, means in the first place we will write sender's address. Sender's address will be written in 3 lines, and after that we will write date. But date will be written after leaving 1 line. You have to leave 1 line empty before writing date, right? And further, all the three formats of writing date are acceptable. It means, suppose today is 8th June, we will write 8th June 2020, June 08 2020, 08 June 2020. Like all these three formats are acceptable. You can use any of these, but don't use these slashes, right? Or like full stops, dots, or like commas everywhere or anywhere like you wish. But you have to follow these three formats, any of these three formats which you like. I hope that's clear. So proceeding with it. Receiver's address. Children, first point was sender's address, second was date, third is receiver's address. Again, pay attention, learners. Receiver's address is written in usually two lines below the date, right? Two lines below the date. It means there should be some gap, and it contains the name. Remember that the sender's name will not be written because we are the sender ourselves. So receiver's name will be written, receiver's designation and address. So how it will be written? For example, we can write it as the manager, Hindustan Machine and Tool. Here we can skip the receiver's name. Why? Because only one person will be the manager of that firm, right? So we can also write to Mr. sorry, not to. We can also write it like, for example, Mr. Parveen Agrawal, the manager, Hindustan Machine and Tools, 14 Civil Lines, Bhopal. So the receiver's address be written in this kind, right? So we may write the name wherever required. Here it is not required since the person is on a good designation and that is already distinguished. So we can simply write it like the designation and then the address of the addressee, right? So this was the third point. Next is subject. Subject is written in one line only, maximum one line. In fact, I would say that it should be in 5 to 6 words. So subject is written below the receiver's address, and again you have to leave one line. First point was sender's address, leaving one line, date, leaving two lines, receiver's address, then leaving one line, subject, right? So it should be brief, relevant and to the point. Very important thing is subject in any letter. It means if the person, if the receiver reads the first thing as subject in the letter, the agenda of the letter should be clear to the reader. Like the subject should be so much appealing, it should be so much attractive that after reading the subject, the whole content of the letter should be clear to the reader, right? So it should be very much brief, relevant and to the point. No extra talk should be done, no detail should be given in the subject, right? Next is salutation. So children often confuse between writing salutation first or writing subject first. See, salutation means dear sir or ma'am, right? Addressing that person. So after receiver's address, some students write salutation first, but no, subject is written first. Like on what topic we will be discussing. So salutation for individuals, I told you we write sir, ma'am, or dear sir or dear ma'am, right? So for firms, we write dear sirs. We can simply write sirs. It means when we are addressing a group of people, right? Next, the very important thing, the main body or content of the letter. So children, read the following points very, very carefully. See, formal letters should be written strictly around the subject specified. No hello, hi, no how are you, no see you soon, have a good day, have a nice day, nothing. It should be written strictly around the subject specified only, that's it. We don't need to include anything personal since these are formal. Stick to the subject matter. We don't have any kind of emotional bonding with the person to whom we are writing. We are just professionals, so act as professional, right? Next is there's no scope of informal. As I just told you, no scope of informal expressions. We should not beat about the bush, never in these letters, and no hi, how are you. Brevity is required. So that is a prerequisite for writing formal letters, children. Brevity. It means the letters should be written in brief. Like there is otherwise no strict word limit for that. But yes, I must say brevity is required. It means we should talk about those things only which are mandatory to be talked about in that particular letter, right? So we should not write anything that is not required. Not even a single word should be written which is not required as per the needs of a letter, right? That's why it should be brief. Next is longer content should be judicially divided in 3 to 4 paragraphs. It means when we are writing the main body, if the content is lengthy, we can divide it judicially into 3 to 4 paragraphs. I'll let you know through an example. Like suppose we are writing a letter to an editor. In that, we first state that we are going to talk about this problem. I am going to write about this and this social issue. In the second paragraph, we will write that this issue I am addressing is everybody's concern. This is worsening. And in the last paragraph, we will give some suggestion for the improvement. Like this should be done so that this improvement can be brought, right? So 3 to 4 paragraphs should be made judicially, like introduction, as we do introduction, then exploring the content, and then conclusion, right? So next is formal and comprehensible language should be used. Very much expected, very simple point, that only formal and comprehensible language, it means the language which could be comprehended by all. It means no difficult or bombastic words should be used that may sound difficult to the readers to understand in one go. Like they should not need any dictionary for understanding your letter, please, right? Take care of these things. Like otherwise what students generally do, some of the students of course, like they write very difficult and bombastic words, and those are not subject appropriate. So obviously the words are not comprehended by the readers, so that creates an awkward situation. So your vocabulary, your language should be formal, and it should be written in such an easy manner that everybody would be in a condition to comprehend it, understand it, right? The tone and style should be entirely formal. It means the tone in which you are writing, in which you are addressing the receiver, and your style of writing, right? Style of writing, it should be formal. Again, there it adheres to no short forms, right? We should not write that the acronyms and the short forms that we use in not in spellings, BECOZ people often write because, or BCZ simply, BCS, no. So these things should be avoided. Like everything should be in formal tone, formal writing style, right? Next is complementary clause. Following endings are suggestive. See, you can write yours faithfully, yours truly, yours sincerely. Children, otherwise, these are also subject specific, but I strongly recommend that you should write only that one from these three which you are highly familiar with, in which you feel that there will be no spelling mistake, or I can bet upon the fact that, if I check 10 papers, 8 spellings are wrong, and it happens always. Because instead of several reminders, what students do generally, like they choose truly. They write TRUELY. The actual spellings are TRULY. So these things should be taken care of, like very judiciously. You can write faithfully, sincerely, but the spelling should be correct, because if there is a circle, obviously marks will be deducted. So you should be very cautious about it, right? Signatures, this is also an important column. Last one, full signatures along with the name and designation of the sender is required. Children, three things. Yours faithfully complimentary note, of course, would be there. First, your signatures in running hand, full signatures in running hand. Then your full name in block letters. Whosoever writes the letter, his or her full name in block letters, capital letters, okay? And then the designation, whether the person is a receptionist, a manager, right? Whatever designation the person holds, so that should be written. I hope the format is clear to all of you. Let's move to some of the examples. So reading the first one, Suppose you are Sharada Ranjan and manager of All Well Pharmaceuticals Limited, Pitampura, New Delhi. So, consider that you require certain items of steel furniture for your office. And you need to write a letter to MS National Steel Furniture, Lakkad Bazaar, Delhi, and place an order for these goods. Include necessary details. Children, wherever it is written that include necessary details, it means you have to invent the details on your own. You're not given any description of how much do you need, what things do you need. So see, I've tried to make a very clear picture of the same in the first line. So I had a shortage of space, so some of the things I have not considered, which I just told you in the rules. So see, first you would write the address, then you would write date, then you would write the receiver's address, then you will write subject, simply placing an order for steel furniture. Dear sirs, it means when you are writing to a firm. Thank you very much for the catalog of your products. So children, this letter signifies that the firm to which you are writing this letter, they must have sent you some catalog earlier. Catalog means a list of all the products, list containing names of all the products which they sell. So after receiving the list, you've selected what do you want from them. We require certain items of steel furniture for our office and we are happy to place an order with you for the same. The details of our requirements are as follows, right? So requirements are, first filling cabinets. Item codes are there, children, for every item. So codes are there. This is the item code. And quantity, it means 6 cabinets are required for office. Office chairs, 12. If there are 12 people, 12 office chairs would be required. Next is office tables, 6 tables. 2 people can share one table, so 6 tables are visitor chairs, 24. It means many visitors can be there, so at least you have 20 to 25 chairs. So sideboards, 6. Right? So in this manner, you need to make a table, writing the serial number, then item, then code of the item. You may or may not write. If you write, it seems good. Otherwise, you can also skip that. And quantity, right? How many pieces do you require of that item? After that, you would write, please find enclosed a demand draft number this issued by Canara Bank Pitampura branch for rupees 80,000, right, as advance. Balance amount shall be credited to your ICICI Bank, right, account digitally within 2 days of the receipt of goods. It means you are paying them an advance payment of 80,000. Otherwise, the furniture can be of 10 lakhs, right? It can be of 5 lakhs. So you are submitting them some down payment and you're also assuring them as soon as you receive the goods, the payment will be credited to their account, right? Next, in the next paragraph, you ask them to deliver the ordered goods within a week along with the bill in triplicate, right? We understand that you will extend us usual corporate discount of 35% on MRP as promised by you on phone. It means they must have promised that 35% on discount on MRP will be given to the firm as they are purchasing the items in bulk. So ask for that discount, don't forget, because everybody wants to purchase the best and the least price, right? So next, yours faithfully, Sharda Ranjan, then the name in block letters and then the designation manager, right? I hope that's clear with all of you. So children, next example is of a reminder कि suppose you are Ketan Desai, Chief Executive of Bhai Sales Corporation, Rons Avenue, Ahmedabad, and your firm had placed an order of Agrawal Computers PVT Limited for supply of some desktop computers. But it could not be executed in time, write a letter of reminder. So children, like a complaint, we can write reminders as well. I think I didn't mention it particularly, but that's very much clear, as you have to be reminded again and again that your homework is pending, your dues are pending, like your this thing is pending, your assignment is pending, your test is pending. So reminders are a part and parcel. These have become a part and parcel of life, that people often forget doing things and they have to be reminded of the same again and again sometimes. So here you had placed an order of desktop computers, but those were not delivered in time. Like whatever date was promised for delivery, it was not fulfilled, so you need to write a letter of reminder to them. How will you write? First your address in 3 lines, then date, then the address of the person along with his name. Right? Subject is reminder to execute the order. The person doesn't need to read the letter. I'm much sure that if they read the subject reminder to execute order, they will directly go to the name, that who has written Ketan Desai. Okay, it means the order has been late in delivery and they must deliver it as soon as possible. Like the subject is so attractive that one doesn't need to read the entire letter. So see what's written. Kindly refer to previous letter number this dated 1st June. Since today is 8th June, through which we had placed an order with you for supply of desktop computers and they were to be delivered. Right? They were to be delivered within 15 days. But it's disappointing to note that more than a month has passed. It means if we are giving a reference, that means the goods have to be delivered in 15 days. But yes, we waited for 15 more days, we waited for full 1 month, but the goods were not delivered and there is no communication from your side. Sometimes it happens that the goods are not supplied from the back end, so the company concerned supplier should write an apologetic letter to the concerned person that yes, we are running short of this good and will be able to deliver it next month. But it is mentioned by Ketan Desai that even no communication was there. It means you did not even mention that it will be late or so. So next paragraph ki our sale season is at peak. It means why we asked you to send us these desktop computers, because we want to sell it and our season is at peak, right? And staff is facing everyday difficulties working on the old systems. Like our selling is restricted as our members are working on old systems and those are not advanced. We need new desktop computers installed urgently. Kindly treat it as last reminder to execute the order. Now you are giving them a kind of warning, right? If you fail to deliver goods within a week, we shall be free to place this order to some other supplier. It means if it is not delivered within 7 days, we will change the person from whom we are going to buy. We will change the supplier. So last line, we hope that you will address our concern on priority and save our 10 years old business relations. So a kind of strict warning, like you have been dealing with that supplier from the last 10 years and you are asking that they don't spoil our business relations that have been established 10 years ago. So don't spoil that and we hope that you will give priority to our order. Right? Thanking name designation at the end. Right? Next. Next example is a complaint against defective goods. I told you children, we can write a complaint letter if we receive some defective goods. So see, you are Mohini Rajput and a few months ago you purchased an LED television from Ahuja Electronics and the product delivered, its warranty was 2 years. Now only you discovered that the pictures on TV screen gets blurred too often and even the sound has become defective in every sense. Right? So you purchased it from Ahuja Electronics a few months ago. A few means it can be 3, 4 or 6 months maximum. Right? So write a letter to the dealer complaining about the problem and requesting him to get the TV repaired or replaced as it stands under warranty period. We often claim. So children, this is one of the very important, I would say very important kinds. Why? Like we often face such problems at home. Like sometimes the LED we are delivered is defective, sometimes the air conditioner, like or any other good if we receive as defective, we can very well use this letter. Just we have to change the model name, model number, the address, etc. Like this wording can be appropriately used, right? So see, center's address, date, receiver's address, subject, and then salutation. So you would give details that I had purchased Conda LED TV model number this from your shop on which date? 6 January. See, I told you about 6 months ago. And cash amount of 22,500 was paid against this. You also have that memo number, right? So I was quite satisfied with the product until last week when I discovered certain malfunctioning in it. It seems to have developed some major technical fault as its picture gets blurred automatically. So see, now you are sharing that you appreciated their product earlier. It means their product was going good earlier, but all of a sudden it has developed some problem and the picture quality is not clear. It has developed some malfunctioning and the surround sound system has stopped. Video and audio quality has become poor, right? You are not even able to understand the speech and the dialogues delivered by the characters on TV, right? So at first we thought that the problem can be solved by the cable operator. Often if the TV gives some problem, we first contact our cable operator, that we feel that the problem would be with cable. But they also assured, representative came and you write that they confirmed that there is no problem from their side. Then you thought that, and they also suggested that the problem must be in the LED set only. Then you are supposed to write them in this manner: kindly send your representative either to repair or to replace it with a brand new unit as the product stands under warranty period, right? You are also requested to address our concern on a priority as we are facing the problem of children getting bored and cut off from the news. Like, you can also give it as an excuse or a real time reason, I would say, that the children often get bored at home. They don't have any source of entertainment other than TV. So kindly do it on priority basis. It means don't make any delays in the repair or replacement, like whatever has to be done on your part, right? Then thanking you, your sincerely, name and then signatures, right? I hope that's also clear to you. So children, next example in line is complaint against insanitary conditions. As this also I mentioned earlier when we were discussing the formats. So see, as a president of Karan Vihar's Resident Welfare Association, you need to write a letter to the Commissioner, Municipal Corporation Ludhiana, complaining against the insanitary condition prevailing in your locality, right? So first you would write Residents Welfare Association, Karan Vihar, Ludhiana, then date, suppose today is 24th August 2020, then the address of the receiver, and then subject, poor sanitary conditions in Karan Vihar. It means from the subject it should be clear that about what area we are going to talk about and about what topic we are going to discuss. Dear sir, on the behalf of residents of Karan Vihar, I wish to draw your attention to the poor sanitary conditions. You will mention it that we wish to draw your attention to the poor conditions. Next, actually, it seems that authorities have forgotten this colony. Sarcastic language is used. We feel that authorities have completely forgotten that their colony also lies within the boundaries of the city, because there is no hygiene, no sanitation in this area, and it is treated as a forbidden island, and no sweepers are sent here. See, what would be the condition? No sweepers or municipal official ever pay a visit to it. So consequently, it has turned into a stinking, stinking means badly smelling. So stinking, dirty enclosure with hundreds of heaps of rubbish lying there. People obviously have rubbish at their home. They will throw away the rubbish every new day. They will dispose the things which they don't need, or like the leftovers or the wrappers here and there and everywhere. So the drains have not been cleaned from ages, and they are badly, letting the filthy water flow freely on the roads and street. Means worst situation is described. I don't know, like it could happen in real, like how people can live in such dirty conditions. So this dirt and squalor have caused several kind of insects, including mosquitoes, house flies, and the whole colony keeps buzzing with their presence and movement. Obviously, wherever there will be no sanitation, heaps of insects would be there. So those create diseases as well. look, about 2 dozens of pigs and equal number of stray dogs in the streets multiply the sorry state of our area. It means they make the situation much more apologetic. Like several pigs and stray dogs are there, and dirt and squalor can become the cause of epidemic outbreak at any time. Obviously, if something is not amended in time, so the results would be worst. It can lead to the breakout of an epidemic or disease, and the limits, all the limits have been crossed and our patience has exhausted. See, this is a very very strong letter, and every kind of adversity has been mentioned, like due to non sanitation what things have occurred, like animals are, stray animals are there, hundreds of insects are there, it's badly stinking, people are getting unhygienic, people are getting diseases out of that, and the patience is all over. So your timely intervention can certainly improve these conditions. So you are requesting the commissioner to pay a personal visit and issue strict instructions to the sanitary staff to ensure, you know, at every place sanitary staff is recruited, but sometimes they are not led the way in which they are to work, sometimes they don't come with their own will, sometimes the authorities intervene and put them to some other place to do some other work. So in such conditions you have to write a letter to some higher authority, like for example the commissioner, and you ask them to pay a visit and see like how dirty the streets have become, and like what worst conditions are prevailing there, right? You also request them to take appropriate action immediately for the survival of people, and ensure that roads and streets are cleaned or everyday basis, lest it's too late to amend it. Means everyday follow up has to be taken. It should not be done that the work is assigned to the cleaners once, sewage cleaners once, road cleaners once, and like it should be left to them. No, they would come one day, 2 days, and they would also leave the work, since the colony is such worst condition. They have to be asked again and again, like this area has to be cleaned today, that area has to be done that day. So a regular follow up has to be there, a check has to be kept on them, right? So this kind of letter you can write in the form of a complaint. So I hope that's clear to you. So next type, children, you can also lodge a complaint regarding a poor service. Suppose you have got a BSNL broadband internet connection at your home, but it's not working for post week. So you need to write a letter of complaint. To whom will you write? Executive Engineer BSNL, mentioning the problem and requesting to do the needful at the earliest. Address yourself as Anurita Gaur and leaving your address. So children, please note it carefully that if the address is given to you, the same address has to be copied exactly. But yes, if it's not given, you can invent your own, right? Say it's given here 4197 Basant Kunj Enclave, Jaipur, so you would write the same address. Then in the next line, leaving one line date, then leaving 2 lines the address of the receiver, right? The executive engineer BSNL, Jaipur. Then you will write subject specific, request to fix fault in broadband connection. Sir, I have got a domestic 300 broadband connection and my subscriber number is this. Of course, the subscriber number is very important because they don't know every subscriber by name. So I have been enjoying this service for the past 2 years, but now it has developed certain technical problem over the last week. I don't receive any signals at home modem, and as a result I'm unable to use this internet service. So this has created a lot of troubles as I have to send and receive online data frequently, since nowadays everything is dependent on internet connection and it's a good network. And so it's mentioned here that the work is suffering badly. So I have already registered a complaint in your office 2 days ago, but no action has been taken. You know, children, while letters are written, I told you the importance in the beginning of this video. These are written in order to maintain a record. Like sometimes a person can just deny, they can just say that no, we didn't get any complaint. So, in such a case, you must have a proof of the same. That's why it's written here by the person that I lodged a complaint in your office, but it was not heard by anybody. No executive, no person, no engineer came from your office. That's why I am writing this letter. So kindly do the needful and fix the problem at the earliest. Yours sincerely, Anurita Gaur, and then name in block letters. Right? So I hope it's also clear to you. So this one is very important, children. See, with the launch of Digital India program, we hope to achieve nation's development at a much faster rate. Not only will there be an easy access to all sorts of information, the program will create abundant new jobs and improve country's economy in several ways. So write a letter to the editor of Indian Express expressing your views on Digital India. The future is now. So see children, such kind of letters which are to be published in a newspaper, so that should be very judiciously written. See how to write it. First your address, date, then add the editor. See, when we are writing to any editor, the T capital, editor E capital, and then in the first line the editor, in the second line the name of the newspaper, and it should be noted that the name of the news, first letter of the name should be capital, in the sense if the Tribune is there, T of the and T of Tribune both should be capital. Here the Indian Express, the Indian Express, T of the, I of Indian, and E of Express should be capital. So this should be considered very carefully. Chandigarh, right? Name of the place where the head office is situated. Subject is Digital India, the future is now. So otherwise, I was in a mood to give you this letter for your homework, but I just want to drop you some hints for it. See how to write it. Through the columns of your esteemed newspaper, I would like to put my views on the government's Digital India program. So children, in the first line, you would make it clear that why you want to write it, why you want to write, and on which topic you wish to write, right? So launched by PM Modi on 1st July 2K15, Digital India, you would write like what was its motive, like its motive was to empower the people of the country digitally, how they can save their time, right, how they can save their energy. The program, how it seeks to lay emphasis on e-governance as to ensure the government services are available to the citizens electronically. They don't need to go everywhere. Previously we had to go and make payment for our dish recharges, right? We have to go and get our mobile phones recharged, like we had to go to the concerned person for getting everything done. But now their business has have been at a decline, and we are doing it all by ourselves. We can recharge our mobile phone at home, we can recharge our dish connection at home, we can transfer money very easily, like at a single click everything is available digitally. India has become so smart. So not only the access to the information, but the transaction has been made through electronic medium, right? So now here in this letter it's written that how people can use it. Government's plans are of setting up Wi-Fi facilities in all universities across the country. Email will be made primary mode of communication. Email very much similar to letter writing, like written record of everything, and that too in digital form. We don't need to carry the papers everywhere. We need to carry our mobile phone, and everything else is there in it, right? Everything is there in our mail nowadays as well. We don't need to carry heavy books whenever we go out. So we have our mobile phone or we have our laptop, and everything is there in that. Like it can contain a lot and lot of data. We can save unlimited number of files, unlimited quantity of data on cloud. So there is no denying the fact that government in this regard is praiseworthy, but it's a big leap into the future of digital nation, where there will be no pendency of work in the offices. It's necessary for a transparency in every field of life. So I hope in the end you will write, I hope that my views will find a suitable space in the esteemed newspaper. Yours sincerely, name and then signatures and then name in capital, right? So here you have written about Digital India, that what is the future, like how we are enjoying it and how people are enjoying it, how people are using these services, and how this has made life very very easy as compared to the earlier times, right? So I hope the content is clear to all of you. So, children, this one I feel is one of the most important in today's era. See, there has been a rapid change in the fields of gadgets and gizmos, and some gadgets that were in great demand a couple of decades ago have lost their existence, and new gadgets have occupied their place. So, you are to write a letter to the editor again, the Tribune, to express your views on transitory nature of gadgets and gizmos. A very new topic, and of course, I hope that you would like the writing. So, see, children, in this letter, you have to write how the nature of these gadgets is transitory. Transitory means temporary, like how we develop a liking for the gadgets for a short period of time, and these are such things from which we get bored very easily and after a very short span of time. Like we want to purchase them all of a sudden, and after using it for a few days or for a few months, we want to throw these things away and we want to opt for new things. Since technology is advancing every day, so there have been lots and lots of improvements in our system, and it's bringing the things to us in much accessible manner and at cheaper rates as well. So in order to avail all the benefits that are available to modern men, of course we want to do away with the old gadgets and we want to buy the new ones every new day, right? See, the format would be the same: address, your address, date, the receiver's address, the editor, the Tribune, Chandigarh. Then subject: transitory nature of gadgets and gizmos. It was very clearly written, children, just copy paste it, right? So what you would write here: through the columns of newspaper, I would like to discuss this topic. Then you will write that we are surrounded by thousands of gadgets and gizmos nowadays, right? So no doubt these are making our life easier and entertained, but due to their growing necessity, a large amount of our saving is spent on them. Children, parents never complain, but yes, they do feel that the money which they have earned by spending several years of their life, so the same money we are spending very easily on such things in a short duration, right? So technological advancements are so rapid that most of the gadgets become outdated very soon. I told you, technology is advancing at such a fast pace that things get outdated very soon. Those get outdated, and the things, they become electronic waste. See, video games, transistors, radio, VCR, pager, gramophone, codeless phones, like these have become outdated. We don't know even what these things are, and some of the examples, from a never ending list. And even the computers have undergone several improvements. Like first desktops were there, heavy computers were there, then LED screen computers came, and then now laptops, and now only mobile phones themselves have become the laptops for people. So thus making all existing versions outdated and impractical. If something is available in much advanced and accessible manner, why would we use the outdated one? Nobody would like to go to those things and nobody would buy them. In fact, people would shun those things. The same is happening, right? So what we would write at the end, that we are moving, fast moving into a virtual world of digital technology, and change is inevitable, but sometimes too rapid and too frequent changes are difficult to anyone to adopt to, right? So for our parents and for us as well, it may become difficult to adapt to these things. So that's why one will have to keep updated, otherwise we are sure to be unfit in society. I just give you an example. So children, the period we are going through, the period of pandemic of this COVID-19 we are going through, so this requires a lot of intelligence in technical field. A person should be up to date in the field of computer and technology if one wants to do any kind of thing. Suppose one wants to work in a office, one wants to work in a school or a college, right? So several institutions, several organizations are there where the entire work is going online. So if a person would be illiterate in the field of computer and technology, the person would not be able to survive. The person would become a misfit. So we have to keep ourselves updated, otherwise we are sure to find ourselves unfit in the change scenario, because the time is changing rapidly, so we have to change ourselves, right? So I hope that my views will be published in your reputed newspaper for the masses to be aware of this issue. Yours sincerely, Anurit Kaur Sidhu. Then the name in capitals, right? I hope the letter is very much clear to all of you. So, children, the last example, and I must say that these types of example do also appear frequently in the examination, like letters to the editors and letters of job applications. Suppose you are Ranjana Rawat of 21 Madhopuri, Ludhiana. Your address is given. See, house number, address, area is given. You came across the following advertisement, like being MSc in Physics and B.Ed, along with having an experience of 4 years in reputed schools, you decide to apply for the post. Sorry, the box of the advertisement goes missing, like it was an advertisement for the requirement of a PGT Physics. Right? So you need to draft a letter applying for this job and attach a resume giving details of your qualification and experience. Very, very minutely, this has to be written. I am reminding you, each step has to be followed very meticulously so that nothing goes missing. So, this would be one of the longest letters. See, your address, date, then the principal, St. Stephen's Convent, Ludhiana. Subject application for the post of PGT, Physics, right? Postgraduate teacher, Physics. Dear sir or ma'am, with reference to your advertisement in the Tribune on dated 18th June, see you are writing it on 20th June, means 2 days after reading of the same. For the post of PGT Physics lying vacant in your school, I wish to submit my candidature for the same. It means you want to appear in the interview as a candidate for the post of postgraduate teacher in physics. So I am 24-year-old female. It matters, children. Why people mention age? Means if one is young, of course, he or she is able to work with much more energy as compared to the older people. So 29-year-old female. Females, of course, males are equally worthy, but for a teacher, for the post of a teacher, most schools and colleges, they prefer females, because females are often considered to be more punctual, I should say, more obedient and cooperative and tolerable, right? So they tolerate things, they have that patience which is much required for teaching profession. So that's why gender is also to be mentioned if one is female, right? I'm 29-year-old female, have passed MSc B.Ed from GNDU Amritsar in first division. Besides this, I possess 4 years of teaching experience in reputed schools. A biodata containing the details. It means you have just mentioned it in 1 or 2 lines, but you will give each and every detail for their record purpose. So that is attached. So if given a chance, I shall leave no stone unturned in being myself as an agent for your organization. It means you are making a big promise to the organization that if you are given a chance, you will give them the best, right? So see how it is written. Biodata, post applied for PGT Physics, name Ranjana Rawat, husband's name Mr. K.C. Rawat, date of birth 27 November, see it's 2020, so age should be 29 or 29 and a half years. 27 November, nationality Indian, marital status married and 1 baby boy. So this is also very important to mention. Like if you are done with your family, this has to be mentioned very importantly, because people also consider these things while recruiting you. So see, educational qualification should be made in such a manner by drawing it in a table, right? Draw a box and tabulate it like this. So we would write from where you did your matriculation. Matriculation, board or university. The years are very important, children. Like I must say, years are very important. 2003, your percentage was 92%, then your 12th, your BSc, your MSc, and then finally your B.Ed, right? So you must mention from which board or from which university. Like board is either CBSE, PSCB or ICSE like this, and or any state board, right? So BSc and MSc and B.Ed. These courses would be from a university, right? Then your professional experience. So you would write duration, like the number of years where like you spent in that column got skipped. I'm so sorry for that. Like in which school did you work? Suppose you worked with DAV schools Amrala, CBSE, PGT designation PGT physics, and your salary was 29. Then you worked at SSD, your salary was 33. Then at DPS Abohar, your salary was 42,000. Further, like language details. So see, very minutely everything is to be mentioned, right? English, Hindi and Punjabi, you know these languages. These are contact details. This is your email ID, this is your home address, these are your 2 mobile numbers, and reference must be given. Like your reference means like the person who knows you very well or under whom you have either studied or worked in your professional career. See, Dr. Kapil Dahiya, he is the professor and chairperson in the Department of Physics, Guru Nanak Dev University, Amritsar, and this is his mobile number. Like if he has to be contacted, so the address and number is given here, right? Declaration. Children, declaration is also must in these cases. The above information submitted by me is true to the best of my knowledge and belief. Nothing has been concealed or exaggerated. This is also important. Like you should not conceal anything. Like if you have dropped somewhere, if you have worked at some place and your experience was not good, like everything has to be mentioned, and you are declaring that you have not hidden anything, you have not concealed or exaggerated, means you have not exaggerated the things. So date is to be written, place, and your name and signatures. That's all about it. Thank you. I hope you have liked the presentation, and I have tried to include all the types of letters here in it, since like I feel that you would be clear with the understanding of the topic formal letter writing and all its types. Still, if you feel you have any queries, you can leave the same in the comment section. I'll be happy to take that. Right? Thank you.